What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Juicy Jet Podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Rooney, and we're going to do a really quick mock draft today because I'm trying to get into the offseason spirit. We got the Combine coming up this upcoming week with some good stuff that should be happening there, and I want to make this a quick episode because I got to go. I got a trip to London, and I decided to get out of here before this storm and hop over to Milan to try to go to that USA versus Canada gold medal hockey game. So we'll see if I can do it. Obviously, I'm sharing my screen right now, so you can't see my face. So if you're on YouTube, hopefully you can see this mock draft and how it's all shaken out. But if you're just listening in, I'll try to describe what we're looking at here and as we go. So I'm going to do a really quick 2-round mock draft. I'm obviously going to be the Jets, and let's hop right into it here. All right, now hopefully this doesn't get messed up and the Raiders actually take Fernando Mendoza in this mock draft, because that's what I think is going to happen. And we're going to do a lot of these over the next couple weeks and months leading up to the draft. So I'm going to try to rotate who I pick as our number 2 selection just to see how the rest of the draft shakes out after that. And of course, we got free agency coming up, so that's going to impact some of the players that we picked potentially. So we'll see how it goes. And Aaron Glenn's actually speaking on Tuesday as well. So maybe we hear a little bit about what's the defense going to look like. Is it going to be a 4-3, a 3-4? It seems like we're switching, but it's unclear at this point. So we're gonna do the best we can here with the knowledge that we have today. And once again, these are meant to be fun. This isn't meant to be educational. It's not meant to be what's exactly going to happen, because we still have so much that's going to go on over these next couple months. So let's get it started. I'm going to hit start draft. Luckily, the Raiders did pick Fernando Mendoza, so we have a straight up real life scenario here. Some of these mock drafts will pick Makai Lemon first overall or something like that. And it's like, what are we doing here? So, all right, so let's see what we got here. So obviously the number 2 pick, you got the pick of the litter here. Who do you want? Who do you think is going to be the best fit for your defense or your offense? And this better be an impact player. The Jets are under so much pressure for this team to hit on these draft picks that you can't miss. You just cannot miss on these folks. So the options here, it feels like there's really 3 folks that we're talking about pretty consistently now for the number 2 pick. Now, we could be surprised. Maybe we really like a wide receiver and you don't want to wait and you want to just take him now. So that could be like a Carnell Tate, for example. Maybe they trade back and maybe they can take a Caleb Downs as a safety. You probably don't want to take him at 2, but if you fall in love, you fall in love. What are you going to do? I won't complain having Caleb Downs on this team because we need a safety so badly. But the 3 that are most talked about thus far is Ruben Bain, the edge rusher from Miami, Arvell Reese, the linebacker who's kind of like a hybrid, kind of like an edge rusher / off-ball linebacker. We'll see how teams want to use him, but he can do a lot, from Ohio State. And then number 3, you got David Bailey, the edge rusher from Texas Tech. Now, obviously, this is disappointing that we're here a couple years later taking another edge rusher after going back-to-back years or was it back-to-back? I think there might have been someone in between, but taking Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald in different drafts in the first round. And here we are today trying to find another pass rusher amongst these picks to help out this defense. So it's really disappointing that we've hit this point where, McDonald and Jermaine Johnson haven't really worked out, but hey, it's not too late. They still could turn it around. Now for me, I think when I look at Ruben Bain, number 1, he's got short arms. For me, I don't want to take an outlier. He would be such an outlier working out. He's really good against the run. He's good in pass rush. But look at what just happened to Will Campbell on the opposite side, playing tackle with shorter arms. He just got beat like a drum in the Super Bowl. So do I want to be risking my number 2 overall pick on someone who could be an outlier? I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what his arms measure at during the Combine this upcoming week. So that'll be an interesting one. David Bailey, he is a very popular name amongst Jets fans right now, and I think the charge is being led by Connor Rogers, who is a part of the Badlands community, and then, of course, does NBC. He's on SNY, all that good stuff. So I'm a huge fan of Connor Rogers, and he loves David Bailey. He feels like he can do it all, and he's just going to be a relentless and probably the best pass rusher in this draft. So is he a guy that you want to take here? Now, for him, what's going to be interesting is, what does he weigh in and measure at the Combine? And does he run? Because he looks a little lighter than what I think you want in an edge rusher, but does he just bulk up and show up at the Combine, all yoked out? Who knows? We'll see. But He's really fast. He's a really good edge rusher. That's going to be an interesting one. And then Arvell Reese, for me, I think right now he's my favorite option. The reason for that is if he's not a good edge rusher, we already know he's a really good off-ball linebacker. So you kind of have a fail-safe if he isn't the edge rusher that he's supposed to grow and develop into. He's also a really young prospect as well. So, and I like the fact that he played in Ohio State's defense. He feels like a Swiss Army knife to me. He feels like who can I like compare? Maybe like a Micah Parsons, but like junior level. He's not, I don't think he's going to be Micah Parsons, but I think he's got the traits to move around and do a lot of different things. And we need an off-ball linebacker too. So you're kind of like killing two birds with one stone here with Arvell Reese. Like the production, I think, is a question from the second half of the year. He kind of fell off a little bit, but I'm going to go with Arvell Reese as this pick at number 2. Now, this is where the fun begins for the Jets because you have no idea what's going to happen between 2 and 16. So it looks like here some of my favorites got taken off the board. Luckily, we're not going to be tempted by Jeremiah Love. He went off the board already. Mekhi Lemon, one of my favorite wide receivers out of USC, goes to the Giants at pick 5. Sonny Styles, one of the best off-ball linebackers we've seen in a long time, goes to the Browns at pick 6, so that defense gets even better. David Bailey, the guy we talked about at edge, goes to Washington, which is a good pick for them. I love Caleb Downs going to the Saints. That's a really nice pick. Peter Woods going to the Chiefs. I don't know. I'm not sure about that one. I don't know if that's where they're going to go, but we'll see how they play it out. Carnell Tate goes to the Bengals. I think that's a terrible idea. I think they should go defense, but I do love Carnell Tate. Dolphins go with a corner and Mansour Delane. Francis Mauigoa, the brother of our linebacker, goes to the Cowboys. Jermon McCoy goes to the Rams. The corner, Caleb Banks, the D lineman interior, goes to the Ravens. And Cassius Howell, the edge rusher, goes to the Bucs, who the Bucs badly need an edge rusher, so that makes sense. Surprised they didn't go Keldrick Falk or something like that there. But all right, we've got a couple options here. Now, the really tempting one is Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson is the wide receiver out of Arizona State. The problem with Jordan Tyson, he should be wide receiver 1 in this draft, but the problem with Jordan Tyson is the injuries. So he has a huge combine coming up where we have to see if he's actually healthy. For me, that's like, if he's healthy, that's a no-brainer for me here to have Jordan Tyson with Garrett Wilson, and then you got A.D. Mitchell, and who knows, maybe you sign somebody. Maybe you still got John Mechie on the team. Or Isaiah Williams. That's going to be a really interesting combo. Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher from Auburn. I'm not sure I would take him here. It might be a little, I don't know. The fact that we just took Arvell Reese, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to go back-to-back with another edge. Denzel Boston is a very interesting one. The wide receiver out of Washington might be a little early, but maybe it's a trade back and then you pick him up, kind of a candidate. Caden McDonald, the D lineman out of Ohio State. That's a big boy who could stop the run. Would look great next to Harrison Phillips. And then there's a couple guards and things like that are out there. I don't think we go guard or tackle this early. I do think it's a good idea to get some depth later on in the draft, but I don't know if I would do it in round 1. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and assume Jordan Tyson is healthy, and I'm going to draft him at pick 16. So now you've shored up the defense with, well, not shored up the defense, but you added an extra piece to the defense in Arvell Reese, which is amazing. And then you add a wide receiver to play next to Garrett Wilson on offense where, hey, maybe you re-sign Breece Hall, you tag him. We're cooking now. Like that's an offense that I want to watch. All right, so now we're at pick 33, which is actually one of the more valuable picks in the draft. I'm a little sad because Lee Hunter goes, the D lineman from Texas Tech. He's off the board. C.J. Allen, the linebacker from Georgia, is off the board. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo, goes. So a couple of the guys that I wish would have fallen did not fall. But we've got some interesting options here. Caleb Lomu, the tackle from Utah. Akeem Mesidor, the edge from Miami. Ty Simpson, the quarterback from Alabama. Dylan Thieneman, the safety out of Oregon. Maybe we can get him at the next pick, so maybe we wait on him. A couple other safeties here that I really like. Colton Hood, the corner. Not too bad. Keontae Scott, I know a lot of people love him. Jake Golday, Connor Rogers also loves him. All right, so there's some good players on the board here. I love the fact that we got 4 picks in the top 45 here. This is amazing. But for me, there is one position that we need to solve, and we got to fix it as soon as humanly possible, and we're going to keep taking swings. And if it doesn't work out this year, we'll see what happens next year. And for me, I'm going with Ty Simpson at pick 33 because we need some hope as Jets fans to say, hey, we've got a rookie quarterback that maybe he'll sit for a few games, see how it goes, he'll learn, and then we can potentially see how he looks at the end of the year or mid-year, depending on how our bridge quarterback does. Now, for me, he's got a big combine coming up too. Interested to see how he measures. I'm sure he's going to do great in interviews. I think a lot of the questions might be around what happened between, like, the first half of the year he looked so good and in the back half of the year he struggled. I think a lot of it was on his receivers and his run game, but I'm curious how he would answer those questions. Would he blame his teammates? Would he take the blame himself? Would he provide some insight into some things technically that he could do better? I think it's really interesting, but for all accounts that I've heard of, just listening to people who have worked with Ty Simpson or have interviewed him, seems like a really great dude. So I'm going to go with Ty Simpson here, and we're going to lock down hopefully the quarterback position, and maybe he could be our guy for the future. All right, so now we've got a quarterback, we've got a wide receiver, we've got a off-ball linebacker / edge rusher. Here we are at pick 44, the last pick of this mock draft. Some really good players still on the board, man. A.J. Halsey, the safety from LSU. I like that. I'm not taking a tight end this early. Colton Hood, the corner from Tennessee. Keontae Scott, the corner from Miami. Jake Golday, the linebacker from Cincinnati. Romello Height, the edge from Texas Tech. D'Angelo Pons is very popular, but he's a little small. Dante Corleone. That guy's got a freaking great name. I just love it so much. I would love to see a Corleone on the New York Jets. Darian Price, the running back from Notre Dame. I like Kamari Ramsey too. Okay, this is really interesting. I think for me, I would probably lean somewhere on the defense with this pick. And we got no interceptions last year, so I'm looking in the secondary right now. I'm thinking A.J. Halsey could be an option. Colton Hood could definitely be an option. Or Keontae Scott. Where do I want to go here? I feel like we're going to be able to sign another corner in the offseason, just because a lot of our corners that we have right now are on their rookie deals, except for Brandon Stevens. So I don't think we've invested a lot of money there, which means we could in free agency. So I think I might go with the safety here. I'm very nervous about, is Malachi Moore the guy, and who are we going to sign as our other safety? Are we going to be able to grab one? I'm not sure. So maybe I'll go A.J. Halsey here so that we shore up someone in the secondary. We've got our edge / off-ball linebacker, and then, of course, you got your quarterback and your wide receiver. So let's see what grade. Let's see if they'll actually give me a grade, because I'm not logged in, I don't think, right now. Let's see. What do the PFF gods give us as a grade? I got ads popping up all over here. All right, they gave us an A. Arvell Reese, Jordan Tyson, Ty Simpson, A.J. Halsey. Honestly, I would be very pumped about this if this was our draft that we walked away with. Now, it's going to be up to the coaching staff to make it all happen and make it work. But, yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an example of what this could look like, and we're going to do more of these. I'm going to try out some different scenarios with different people getting taken at number 2. And, of course, number 16 is the really interesting one, seeing where everybody goes ahead of us to figure out, do we have to trade back? What does that look like? Is Ty Simpson in danger of going a little bit earlier? What if we don't get a quarterback? Do we take one in the 4th round? How do we get a 3rd round pick back because we don't have one? So there's a lot of questions going into this, but this was really fun. I'm actually going to take a screenshot and I'll use it for later, which is great. But let me know your thoughts. I want to hear what you guys think in terms of who the Jets should draft with their top 4 picks, because these are massive ones that have to hit. So let me know. Once again, you can follow me all across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter at JuicyJet25. Please like, rate, subscribe, review, follow, do all the good things. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, a lot of news going to come out for the Combine. A lot of news is going to come out from Aaron Glenn, who has an interview with the media, and Darren Muji. So listen into those. And we will come back at the end of next week, probably on Saturday or Sunday, with a free agency preview, because free agency is not too far away. And we're going to go through who are the people we think the Jets should get rid of, who they should keep, and then who should we sign to bolster this roster. So thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Go USA men's hockey. Beat Canada.